Hey y'all, Nick here from Attrell Toyota here in the Brampton Auto Mall, and we're here again with another awesome walk around video. Now today we're looking at the 2021 Toyota Corolla SE Standard Edition, and it is a good looking car. As you can see, it's wrapped in a beautiful classic silver metallic paint color, and it is a great looking vehicle just to look at right from the start. And as we move over here, we always like to start off with the grille, because the grille is the first thing you're going to see when this car's coming up behind you or when this car passes you on the road. And you can tell that this is a sport edition by the grille alone. It's got a nice flare off to the sides here right under the lights, and it's got a beautiful honeycomb look all throughout. It's a gorgeous look. You can definitely tell that this car is a sportier version of our Corolla model. Now as we move forward, you'll see that the Toyota emblem is actually put just above the top of the cowl here, and that's on purpose because what's behind this little part of the grille is our Toyota Safety Sense radar system, and so we use that for our pre-collision as well as for our dynamic range cruise control. And so as you can see, this car is well equipped already from the get-go, not only to look good but to keep you safe all while doing so. And so as we move around, you're going to see that one of the upgrades you get in the SE edition is our 3J LED headlights. You can tell that you've got 3 J hooking LED strips that are inside the headlamp unit, and that actually gives you just an even greater beam of light during the night, but even during the day it actually shows off itself really well. And so you get our 3J headlights whenever you touch an XLE, or if you get into our SE models and above, and they are really good looking headlights. As we move down the side, you're going to see that this Corolla's got some great body lines. You can see that it's got beautiful alloy rims to match, but also right along the side of the car, just some nice sporty lines to it. The bottom cowl on the side is actually painted black, and it's a piece of black gloss plastic that goes along the side, and it really makes the sporty look come out of this car. As you can see, we also have our new TNGA platform. We have our mirrors on the driver's side and passenger side now located on the door of each driver and passenger on the front end. And the reason we do that is just to give you guys a little bit more space to see, just a better view and a sight line. That helps keep drivers where they need to be on the road, as well as helping to see other pedestrians and other objects that could be in the way. As we move back, you'll see that cowl along the side at the bottom there just comes along the back. It looks really nice as it streamlines to the back of this car. Now, when you start with an SE, you will get alloys to start, especially here as we can see on this standard edition SE. And as you move up, you only get bigger, nicer alloys. And so to start, you get these really nice silver chromed out alloys on this car, and it really gives a nice sporty look, but also a classy look as well. So maybe you're looking for a car that is sporty and fun to drive, but also classy enough to take to work. This is the best of both worlds for you. As you see coming along the back, you'll see you got your Sport Edition badging, as well as your Corolla badging, and as well as a nice honeycomb rear spoiler as well on the back of this car. You can also see that you have dual exhaust on the right hand side, and it really brings out a nice sporty look to this vehicle. As we move around to the side, you're just going to see the completed look on the passenger side, and it really shows you that this car means business. It's a lot of fun to drive. It's a really good looking vehicle. Now I'll tell you this car is not made to challenge Corvettes or Supras. If you really want to go fast, that's what our Supra is for. But this car really does bring a nice, exciting niche to the market, where it gives you a beautifully practical consumer car and gives you a ton of fun to be had while you're driving it. So as you can see, this is the exterior of this 2021 Corolla SE Standard Edition. Stick with us as we check out the inside. Alright guys, now with every interior look, I always want to start off with the key first. Now as you can see, with our SE Standard Edition, you do get our smart key system, which means you will have push to start as well as smart access to your vehicle. You can see on here that you have a number of different buttons that do different things. You have a panic button, you have a trunk button, and you have your traditional unlock and lock button. Now with our smart key system, one of the things that has actually been extremely popular about it is that you can leave this in your pocket when you approach your vehicle, and you can actually unlock and lock it without even having to take it out. So as I press that button or that piece twice, you actually get the car locked, and then as I put my hand inside, you can hear that it unlocks. Now, first impressions of the inside, and I'm going to change just a little bit of a camera angle here for you, just to give you a little bit more view. So as you can see, first impressions are you have a nice black interior, classic black. You have a beautiful entryway into this car. With every Corolla sized vehicle, you always want to make sure that you have enough space. I'm a bit of a bigger guy, as mentioned before, and so I like the space that is offered here. I like that when I get in, it's not too close to the ground. It actually feels like it's a nice ergonomic design to get in and out of this vehicle. You can see that there's just nice chrome touches everywhere, whether on the handle as well as on the armrest here. And as you can see, moving in, you know again that this is a sport edition because of the nice blue sport stitching in the seats. So Toyota added a nice little touch here in this blue stitching, and it really does go well with this car. Gives it a sporty feel, but also that classic feel that we always want to have in our vehicles. As you move in, one of the other things you will notice right away is that we do have a leather wrapped steering wheel. Give me just a moment as I hop in here. We do have this beautiful leather wrapped steering wheel. I'm actually going to pull this out one more time just so you can see. We have a beautiful leather wrapped steering wheel that is actually heated. It has a very nice feel to it. It's very well made. You can tell that it has a nice ergonomic design, great feel to when you're driving, but also has just a classy look to it as well. The stitching really brings out a nice look overall to this steering wheel. Now, as I close the door, you have a very nice quiet cabin. It's not loud. The road noise is to a minimum. It actually has a very nice, quiet, peaceful ambiance to it. I'll be honest with you, when you get in here, it is nice and peaceful, and it makes it so much easier for our sound system to be able to do its job as well. Now, as we start this car up, you're going to hear a 2.0 liter 4-cylinder dynamic force engine that Toyota offers. Now, when you ever touch a sport edition vehicle, so an SE upgrade, Apex, or even an XSE or a Nightshade, you're going to get this 2.0 liter dynamic force engine. Now, this engine is well known by Toyota. It's very well used, and we're going to talk a little bit more about it near the end of the video. Okay, so stay tuned. Now, as we look around, there's all kinds of different things in here. You got an 8-inch touchscreen that we've had in our LE models as well, that comes standard in this vehicle. You're going to have digital climate control in here as well, where you can actually set what degree you want your cabin to be, and the system will actually get you to that section. We also have a number of different options, including eco heat and cool mode. You can cycle through a number of different options of where you would like the air to be directed, whether to your feet, to your face, both, or even just in defrost. You also have some heated mirrors and heated rear window, as well as your defrost for the winter, as we know in Canada, where we seem to have 6 months of it. So it's very well equipped, ready to go. First things first, I do want to go back to this steering wheel and just show you that, like our other Corollas as well, with the SE upgrade, you're going to get your intuitive touch on the steering wheel itself. You're going to have the same features that you would normally see, like your cruise control, your dynamic full range cruise, where you can set how far you would like the car to be in front of you, your lane tracing alert, where you can turn that on and off. You're going to have your mode switches, your track, seek, and return buttons, as well as the more simple and remembering your directional pad for your multi-information display, your phone button, as well as other options here like volume control and your voice assistant. So there are different options in this vehicle that already come standard, stuff that makes it easy. Toyota as a brand is really trying to mitigate and stop as many accidents as possible, and so we believe that the safest driver is one that is not distracted. And so when you're able to keep your eyes on the road as opposed to having your eyes down looking for buttons, it makes it for a safer ride for everybody. Now, as I move in here, I'm just going to show you. I'm going to actually go on top here, open this in here, And you're going to be able to see that you have your tachometer, speedometer, as well as a 4.2-inch multi-information display. Now, as I mentioned to you before, you do have directional keys located on your steering wheel, and you're going to actually be able to cycle through the different options that you see in here, okay? So this is one that shows your lane tracing alert, pre-collision system, blind spot monitor, and rear cross traffic safety alert. These are all settings that you can actually turn on and off. Toyota obviously will definitely recommend that you keep them on at all times, as that is how you're going to be best suited to be safe on the road. But they are different options that can be turned on and can be turned off, all from in here. It is also important to know that when you turn this off, you will have to turn it back on again. It does not automatically come back on, so you will have to turn it back on yourself. So that's very important to note. If you do turn one of these off, be sure to turn it back on so that you can stay the safest on the road. As we cycle through, you also see that there's a message bar that if there's anything wrong that the car senses, it can actually send you a message that you'll be able to then relay to one of our service advisors who can help you with the car should you need it. Also, you have a digital speedometer as well as a digital fuel gauge that'll tell you how many kilometers are left to the tank. As you can see, even with a small tank with almost 1/8 of a tank left, you will still get 82 kilometers, which speaks to the fuel efficiency of this car. The 2.0 liter engine is different than our 1.8 that is offered in our LEs. It has a good considerable amount of horsepower in the 132 range, but also is still very fuel efficient as it is a 4-cylinder. So rest assured that when you get into the Sport Edition cars, you will see similar gas mileage to the 1.8s, but you will also have a little bit more of an exciting feel as you drive it. As we move forward, you'll also see that you can have your cruise control and lane tracing assist turned on and off here, as well as you can use a trip distance meter for some of those who are using this car to go on long trips, whether for business or for pleasure. You can actually use this to set your mileage and track how long you've been driving, as well as how far you've gone. And as you see, we go back to our Toyota Safety Sense section. So this multi-information display is very intuitive. It offers you a ton of information that's going to be helpful in running your vehicle, but also in just the daily driving and operation of it as well. Now, as we move over to our 8-inch touchscreen, you'll also see that there's a number of different options here. Now, we are set up with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto in this vehicle. So rest assured, if you're on the Samsung side, Android side, or the Apple side, both of those parties can use this vehicle and enjoy it as well. There is a small USB port underneath the dash here where you're able to plug in and be able to operate both Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, just not at the same time. So rest assured, you do have to do it individually, but it is there to accommodate both parties. You also can attach your phone to this car via Bluetooth, where you'll be able to answer phone calls and send phone calls, as well as play your music through your phone as well. So it is a very intuitive system. Toyota also offers this nice fuel economy chart where you can actually see how well you've been driving, and you also can see the range of your tank as well. And you can also see a nice big clock in the top corner that will actually help you as you drive, just to be able to see what time it is. So as we look into our menu here, you'll see that these are the different options. You can have audio, phone, apps, and projection. Projection refers to our Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And it's a very intuitive system, but it also incorporates, and I'm going to do this safely, a nice, brilliant backup camera. And so as you can see, it's very, very clear. It's very, very intuitive. It does have some safety bars here in this teal color that will help you refrain from hitting anything, and this red bar that will also be your last resort in telling you to make sure that you don't run into anything behind you. Always, as we say, be very careful when using this system. Look both ways, check behind you just to make sure that you don't hit anyone or anything. As we go down to the bottom here, the last part to look at is our shifter, which is arguably one of the most important parts of our vehicles. And what you'll see under here is that this car has different manual modes that you can use. So you can actually bring this shifter down and over to the side, and this will let you select from some gear ranges. Now, it's not gears as it traditionally was, it's actually simulated gear ranges, and the reason why they do that is this is actually a CVT transmission, and so that stands for continuously variable transmission. And so what that means is you won't have traditional gearing such as in a normal automatic, but you'll actually have different ranges that you can choose from to basically downshift should you ever need to, maybe in the winter time, or to try and pass someone on the highway. Or you can also upshift as well if you're someone who just enjoys being able to shift through the simulated gears. Now, as you can see at the top, there is a sport button right here to give you a sport mode, just for an additional acceleration and fun when driving. I'm going to put this back into drive before I forget. And then they also have an electronic parking brake that is standard. And so what that'll do is that will actually activate and deactivate the parking brake automatically when you shift from park to drive, or reverse, or whatever other gearing ratio you want to use. It will automatically do that for you. And you can actually set it if you're in neutral yourself by just pulling up on it. But it will automatically set and or activate and deactivate itself for you whenever you need. Also, there is our traditional brake hold button here as well. If you're sitting at a long light and your legs are tired, you can actually press this brake hold button and it will hold the brake for you and hold you at a stop. Almost similar to kind of to using the handbrake, but in the fact that it's intuitive, where it will actually deactivate itself when you press the gas. And then finally, just some more creature comforts that we have in here are some heated seats that you can use for the driver and the passenger, each with a high and a low setting, just to keep the buns warm in the winter time. And for some people, even in the summertime, if it's not hot enough for you, you can get a little bit warmer. All right. So that really concludes the inside of this standard edition Toyota Corolla SE. I'm going to be checking out the back in just a second, so bear with me. All right, everyone. Now, this is the back seat of our standard package Corolla SE. And just the same as other Corollas, it has the same body inside and really the same size seating and everything else. The only difference that you will really see for Corollas is if you move to a hatchback versus the sedan model. And so the back seats are, as I've said before, quite comfortable. As I slide subtly over to this seat, the backs of the seats are curved, and so they give you a little bit extra leg room. I have the seat back far enough for the driver where I am comfortable, being 6'1". And I still fit perfectly in the back. There's still tons of room back here. You don't feel claustrophobic. You actually feel like there's space to sit comfortably and not have to be squished or crammed in the back. What also helps is that you do have the power window to the side that you can actually put down and raise yourself to be able to get a little bit of extra airflow back here. But this is very spacious. Easily could fit two of me in the back here and a third if necessary. A third would probably be a little bit squeezed, but as you can see, the sight lines are great. There's a lot of light that's brought into here, and it's overall just a really spacious cabin in the back. Stay tuned as we check out the trunk. All right, guys, now with all of our Corollas, whether it be an LE, XLE, XSE, or even this SE, all of the trunks are the same size. So rest assured, if you're getting an LE versus an SE or vice versa, you are getting the same size trunk, as they're all on the same platform. Now, that being said, with this SE and our smart key system, you do have an opportunity to unlock, or open up the trunk, I should say, with your smart key. And so you can press that button and hold it, and you'll be able to open up this trunk. There is also a lever inside the front of the car that you can use as well. Now, as I've said before, this is a trunk that is well suited. It's got tons of space. As we in Canada like to measure things in hockey bags, you can easily fit a single hockey bag in the back here, or two if you put down the back seats. So as you can see, there is tons of space, and as you can also see, with every Corolla model, you will get your winter and summer mats as well. So rest assured, if you're looking for a little bit of utility but you don't need an SUV, this car does have a ton of space available to you. Now, as we move to the front and check out the engine, stay tuned. All right, y'all, here she is, our 2.0 liter four-cylinder dynamic force engine. You can tell this is a Toyota because everything is centrally located right at the front, and it's very easy to work on. You have your dipstick located centrally just on the top of the engine. All of your fluids are very easily accessible for you to be able to change them or fill them up. And finally, you also have your battery, also very accessible as well, like I always say, in case you need to boost your buddy's Ford or Honda. Now, as you can see as well, this is, as I said before, a very efficient engine. It runs very smooth, it's quiet, it's not loud, but it is very efficient when it comes to giving you a sporty feel as well as good fuel efficiency. So the Corolla, as you know, has been known for being an economical, practical vehicle, and what Toyota has done is they've built on that reliable, practical frame and given you a lot of fun as well. So you'll know that this is a very peppy engine. It's actually quite quick when you're running on the highway or even in the city, and it is a ton of fun to drive. Now, as we back up, I'm just going to let you know that these cars are available here at Attrell Toyota here in the Brampton Auto Mall. Feel free to stop by, have a look at one, and chat with one of our wonderful sales staff, as they'd love to help you get one of these in your driveway. Have an awesome day. Take care.